Alright, so I'm here again, and the internet went down just like expected. Thankfully it didn't go down within the hour, but the sole purpose of the last video was to complete Latania's and get the medallion for the secret Helix tree from Commander Now. So I defeated Now, and I completed Latania's quest line. So all the quest line in the games are done. Everyone, except for Var's quest here. But I don't need to do Var's quest because I already acquired his weapon and his items and his outfit. All I need from Var is to get me to Mohg's location. Because even though Mohg is not necessary to complete NPC quests, however, he does offer a great rune and a new location that you need to get to in order to complete either Ronnie's quest or some other NPC's quests, for which I'm not doing anyway. So I'm only doing this video because there are 4 main bosses left, and I believe part of...
Oh, good heavens. Clench your teeth or something. Never forget that feeling of agony, for it is what binds you to Luminary Mohg, to all of us. You have the sweetest scream, my lambkin. Oh, another thing. You should have this. A medal granted by the new Mohgwyn dynasty, with the power to grant audience with Luminary Mohg. I've gone out of my way to provide one to you, but you mustn't use it just yet. The meeting must wait until the Mohgwyn dynasty commences. Luminary Mohg yet slumbers beside the divinity. We must endure a little longer. Ah, it is trying, but we must be patient. One day you will be elevated, deservedly, basking in love. Right, my lambkin? Ah, it is one day, right, my lamb?
Alright, so I believe I'm supposed to wait and change the day until he changes his mind to make me go to Mohg's location. So I'm going to progress the day and see what happens. If nothing happens, then I have to do something else. This Var quest line, I believe Var's quest line is rather simple and straightforward. You have to invade. First you meet him at the beginning of the game, and you speak to him, and then he goes to the Church of Rose, and then he tells you to invade people's world at least 3 times, or you do it at least 3 times. After complete 3 invasions, he then cuts off your finger or something like that. gives you, or should I say, he then gives you a piece of, he gives you a piece of paper first and tell you to soak it in blood of a maiden. And once that is done, he then cuts off your finger and give you the item to traverse and get to the Mohg dynasty. And then he leaves this location. So what you then do is, if I'm correct, you then use this item to get to Mohgwyn's Palace. Regardless of what Var says, it will take you to his location. I'm now at his palace, and from here I could choose to fight all the enemies after doing so, or go directly to him at his mausoleum. So that's basically how you get here. You first meet Var at the beginning of the game, here at the first steps location. He'll be here. You speak to him. He then goes to, next place he goes to is the Church of Rose, here. You speak to him again. He tells you to do 3 invasions, or to do invasions. You do 3 of them. You then come back and speak to him after doing your 3rd invasion. He then gives you a piece of paper and says soak it with maiden's blood. You then take that piece of paper, you go to the 4 belfries, you use the 2nd tower in the 4 belfries, and after you use the 2nd tower in the 4 belfries, you go back to the start of the game where you fought the first boss. You defeat the first boss, then go back into the main room all the way at the back where you started the game from. You see the same dead woman on the floor at the start of the game, but this time you can interact with her. You then soaked the cloth with her blood. You then bring it back to Var here. He then gives you the item to teleport to Mohg's location after he cuts off your finger, because you have to make sure he cuts off your finger to progress his quest line. He gives you the medallion to teleport to Mohg's location. You then use that medallion that he gives to you, which is this item here, Pure Blood Knight's medallion. You then press the use button, you use it, you show up here at his palace, and that's pretty much how you get to his location fast, without doing a lot of stuff associated with Nokron Eternal City, traversing the falling location by Radahn, and other mini bosses along the way. So that's the fastest way to get to his location. So what I'll do right now is I'll try to get to Mohg right now and find the first grace point on the way to Mohg's palace. And hopefully that will allow me to progress certain storylines. Of certain NPCs along the way, but I don't need to do it because I already did it the first playthrough. So your sole purpose is not to listen to Var after he gives you the introduction medal to see Mohg, because I guess your character that you're playing kind of have enough common sense to know that Var is not really a good person. based on his tone and his behavior. So logically, you would trust him, and we show up here and do our own thing rather than listen to to Var. So I'll get some help for people to clear this whole mob out.
Mikola. You must abide alone a while. Welcome, honored guest, to the birthplace of our dynasty.
And that's basically his quest in a nutshell. Or should I say, that's that boss fight in a nutshell. It's very complicated, but with people on your side, it can go by pretty quickly. Like if you're simply farming to try to acquire something, like you're trying to get all the items in 100% of the game, it's all good. It doesn't matter if you ask people for help, because it's not about fighting the boss. It's about completing quest lines and finding items. So, that said, I believe my character requires 3 million and change to level up. So, 2 million. So I'm not going to be leveling up, but what I will do is, since Mohg is done, and since Commander Nile is done, Latania's quest is finished, Dee's quest is finished, Dialis' quest is finished, Yura's quest is finished, and most of every other NPC's quest is finished, and Selva's quest is going to be finished, I believe, after I defeat the fire giant. I think that's it for all my quests. I've completed all of my 5 missable quests. Dee's, Dialis', Latania's, Hyeda's, and Yura's. And of course there are other quests tied that I also wanted to complete on the side for a missable item. Such as, I believe, not Rani's quest, but an earlier quest like Roger's quest. So I did that on the side, but I already did his the first time around. So the 5 main characters that I missed in my first playthrough was Latania, Hyeda, Yura, and Dialis' and Dee's. Didn't get Dee's armor, didn't get Dialis' stuff, didn't get Latania's rewards, didn't get Hyeda's rewards, definitely didn't get hers, but turns out that I did do it the first time, so technically I did it again here. And then I did Vara's quest to get here, but there was only 5 I was missing. Dialis', Dee's, Latania's, Hyeda's, and Yura's. That's it. So now that all that is done, every other quest that I can do is simply because I want to do them, not that I need to do them. is because I'm not missing anything across those other characters' quests. So I think I've managed to acquire everything in the game, all the actual weapons on my first and second playthrough. I'm not sure if I 100% got every weapon, but I'm pretty sure I got more than 95% of the weapons, or 97% of the weapons. I might be missing 2 weapons and maybe 1 shield, or 2 shields, and maybe yeah, I might be missing. I would say I'm probably missing like maybe 4 or 5 items most, because these gaps don't mean I'm missing them. These gaps means that there are separating lines for the different weapon types. You have small weapons, large weapons, heavy weapons, and these gaps here are simply to separate them. Like if you see this and there's a gap here, it looks like it's missing, is simply because these are different items. These are sickles and these are halberds. So this gap is to represent that they're separate. Just like this gap here is to represent that this is not the same as this. And you keep going down, and see another gap here. It's to represent that these are different. So you can't put them next to each other. You can't put these claws next to this, like here and here, because you won't be able to distinguish the difference. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And you're probably saying to yourself, well, you have 2 additional space. It doesn't work that way. Once you have collected enough of a similar item here, if there's an extra item or an extra loot that the game gives you, it has to go on to the next line, even if it goes on to the very first next line. And then all those additional lines are going to be empty, because those additional lines are designed to separate one type of weapon from other type of weapon. So this means that you have missing content. It simply means that you had an extra weapon that couldn't fit amongst all those, so it had to go onto a separate line. And the moment it went onto a separate line, that line developed and is made to separate itself from other weapon types. So I believe I collected all weapons and all armor, or most of all. I guarantee I've collected more than 95 or 96% of things in the game, or probably just 95. I mean, I might be missing either 5 different armor types or 5 different weapon types, but no less than that. I know for a fact that I've got at least 95 to 96% of everything weapon related and armor related in the game. I can't speak the same with regards to these, but I also believe I might have collected at least 98 to 97% of these items as well. If not, I probably collected 100% of it on my first and second walkthrough. So I'm pretty much done with the game completely, because there's no reason for me to find every single item in this game, because I have no intentions of 100% completing this game, like 100%ing it where I have every single thing. And I'll probably never use every single thing in the game, because many of the weapons in the game are very weak weapons, and why would I want to play the game again using nothing but weak weapons simply because I want to have it? So I'm satisfied with getting anywhere from 90 to 95% of all collectibles, and the remaining 10% or 5% are simply because those weapons are probably not important in the slightest, or I shouldn't be wasting my time doing that. So I'm good with Elden Ring now. If anything, when it comes to the DLC weapons and DLC items, those are what I want to get down the road after I beat this main game. So now that Mohg is done, I can then move on to the next task from Mohg after his defeat. Because my new game plus is supposed to be like a collectible of things, and since I collect most of everything from mini bosses and boss, there's not much to do anymore except beat all the main bosses of the game and complete all missable quests and missable items. So now that I'm finished with Mohg, the only thing left is to fight Estelle, which is be done on a different day. Because I believe there's one other sub-boss in order to progress Ronnie's quest, which is Estelle, and then there's 3 other main story bosses to be Horaloo, Melania, and the Fire Giant. And Estelle is just a bonus for Ronnie's quest. And that should be the end of the game. So that's it for me in Elden Ring. I wanted to just finish Commander Nall's and Latania's quest, but I realized I have a little bit more time just to complete Mohg's. So that's what I did. Alright. So I'm going to continue this probably Monday, because Saturday and Sunday I have something very important to do. Yeah.